When you're a business owner, you face challenges every day, both within the actual business and outside of it. Some factors are within your control, they can be resolved or deleted, but some are definitely not. You know, like a monsoon, or a flood, or a global pandemic, or all three. Maybe you also get the bonus curveball challenge of being a tourism business, one of the most impacted industries of all in 2020 and 2021. So when all of this happens to your business, what do? Well, when the going gets tough, you go glamping, of course, at an oasis just south of Townsville, Australia, no less. Today, SME TV shines the hero spotlight on Fiona Lidgett, owner of the Eco-certified Bush Oasis Caravan and Glamping Park, and survivor of everything. Welcome, Fiona.
Hi, Angela.
So tell me, it's predictably the very wet, hot season at the moment up there for you guys.
It sure is, and we've had a lot of rain over this summer season this year, starting to feel a little bit like the monsoon again. Not so bad and devastating, obviously.
So we know that you're a highly successful, sustainable tourism entrepreneur, and congratulations for that and all that you do. But before we unpack all the components and the environmental aspects of your business, in your words, tell us about the Bush Oasis Caravan Park and how big the site is and all the great facilities you've got.
Bush Oasis Caravan Park is on the south side of Townsville. So as you enter Townsville, we're right next door to award-winning Billabong Sanctuary, a nature tourist park with wildlife and things there. We're on undulating ground with powered sites, cabins, caravan sites, of course our Eco-glamping area with wetland and cafe event centre called Wallabies.
So you didn't start out exactly this way, did you, when you first took over the caravan park? And it's a family business, but it was something that's evolved as you've been there. You've been really super conscious of the environment and how your park fits into all of that.
It has, Angela. It's certainly changed since we took over in 2014. The park was very different back then, and over time we've evolved and looked at our resilience and how we can better manage things moving forward with a changing economy, and how, if a disaster happens, how are we going to structure our business, how are we going to move forward and be competitive.
So you've really been focused on the other aspects of the park and focusing on what the data shows you from the travel industry. So you've been adapting and developing, and glamping has been a really great aspect of that, of the change of the park.
Yes. With our eco-glamping area, we developed that as a nature tourist area. People are wanting that extra space, especially during COVID. They're wanting to get back to nature and explore the outdoors, go hiking, enjoy time with their family and escape their busy lifestyles. So providing that open space is something that people are looking for, especially at the moment.
Right, so we are going to move forward from COVID, Fiona, where all the globe is very happy about this, getting out of it and adapting to our new lifestyles. So you've got big plans underway. You took advantage of the time of COVID to organise the plans, the next building aspects of the park, what else you could offer. A huge component of this is the environmental accreditation and certification that you've developed, your Eco-certified advanced ecotourism, which means that you've had to meet specific criteria, you've had to go through annual assessments and reporting, and judging by the 49-page document that I've had a look at, with about 50 supporting attachments, it's quite a complex avenue that you've chosen to go down, but one that's extremely worthwhile. So can you talk us through the wastewater management plan, the planting that you've got happening, the special new species that you've introduced? Take us through that.
Sure, Angela. Our ecotourism is extremely important. When we started off that, we looked at how can we grow it in the short term. So we started off with CCIQ EcoBiz and developed that with our energy, waste and water. And then that gave us the grounding to move on to ecotourism. So as an advanced ecotourism business, the broad criteria for that is extremely extensive, from environmental right down to your cultural aspects and your sustainability. Some of our sustainability options, like recently we've just planted a number of Mount Stewart ironbark that are very, they're on the, not the endangered list, but they're encouraged to grow further.
And we're safeguarding. So you're safeguarding different types of planting. You're also encouraging with what you're doing, the works. New wildlife is coming back. I mean, I know a family's just moved into the park.
It sure is, Angela. It's beautiful to see all that wildlife coming in, from the wallabies and the little joeys sitting in their pouches to the whistling ducks and their little ducklings following them around. We had one that I think it must have been visiting a few people over the time because it was very, very friendly. It followed us around like we were the parent.
Oh, you almost adopted an extended family with the wildlife.
Yes.
So what I'm very curious about is some of the aspects of the accreditation that you've got to follow through on, which is very, very vigorous and onerous for you in terms of paperwork, I know. And most small business owners are listening right now going, how does she do it? A huge part of that, though, is how you're adapting every aspect of the park in terms of ecotourism. So your waste is being managed and you've got to follow through on all of that. It's the wastewater, it's the environmental management plan. I mean, even your buggy that you use to get around the park is an electric buggy.
Yes, it is.
You're also going to look at introducing tech education around the environment, so people will be able to listen and learn about what's going on in the actual park.
That's right, Angela. We're hoping to turn it and look at edutourism as well, because I think what we're doing on site is a great model for other businesses to learn from, and not just other businesses, but maybe schools or other educational providers, where people can learn about different options for managing their lifestyle, their housing, their just general everyday living.
So, Fiona, let's very quickly, I want to just read out a quote to you from the assessment report of CCIQ, the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Queensland. About you, what they've said is, Fiona and team, keep up the tremendous work. You guys are inspiring and demonstrating the future. Bloody brilliant. Isn't it great to hear comments like that from people that are assessing you and helping as part of the accreditation?
It sure is, Angela. The CCIQ EcoBiz consultant that we have, Jason Lang, has been a tremendous support to us and still is. He's my go-to person for anything environmental. He's across everything, and I've nicknamed him my Cat 5. So from anything from wastewater to creek and erosion control, he's right across all the sectors. So he's been a very valued person in running our business.
Now, how many caravans have you got on site?
We have at the moment 108 sites. That's increasing to around 137, which will include our 10 eco-glamping sites as well.
Now, the eco-glamping, which is, I mean, I've seen the pictures. I'm fascinated by it. I can't wait to try it myself because we've got king-size beds, air conditioning,
Yes.
a veranda that overlooks the wetlands that you can actually have breakfast out at.
It sure is, Angela. The outlook will be lovely, very peaceful, tranquil, a place where people can relax and enjoy nature. And what better way to do it than getting outdoors?
Well, I've seen the pictures of the bathrooms as well, Fiona. Are you worried that people will come and stay and not want to move out and go back home because it looks that good?
Well, they can stay for as long as they want.
They can always come and knock on your door and have a cup of tea because you're on site.
Well, not at midnight though. I do like my sleep.
Now, the other great events or the event spaces that you've got there is the ability to host events.
Yes.
And you've got a cafe on site.
Yes, that's all part of the one
area. And you've had
Yeah.
lots of inquiries for people to come and hold conferences and events around sustainability and the environment, because being on site in a business that's walking the walk and talking the talk is very highly valued.
Yes, people that in today's world are looking for that educational model where they can walk around and see waste management, water management, electricity management. We have all that on site.
And just I also, we spoke about this offline before. In the event space in the cafe area, you've got some new equipment that you're looking at really optimising and setting a precedent for, I have to say, because I'm very jealous of it coming from a food background. It's a commercial insinkerator and it's going to process any food waste from the cafe. Tell us what's going to happen with the food waste.
That food waste will be all mulched up. The liquid that we receive from that will go back into our wetland to improve the probiotics and the cultures in the wetland. It's been a valued product in creating that plant life, animal life in our wetland, and it can even go on the gardens. The mulch from that and any other waste that's not liquefied can then go back into the gardens, which improves the soil probiotics as well. So it'll be a valued option.
This is a huge game changer in a way, Fiona, because food waste around the world is an issue, in particular in Australia. Lots of different levels of government now are trying to tackle and see what they can do about it. In terms of measuring, they're measuring the garbage and the waste that people have every day and how they're going to cut back on landfill with it and what they can do with it and convert, food waste into energy. You're even going that next step in terms of using everything that comes through the site back into the site for the benefit of the environment, lots of different ways. Are people finding you now with all these unique opportunities, or are you still having to look for it?
No, they're starting to filter through because people are more conscious of their footprint these days, that they're looking for those sustainable options. So we're really excited to not send a lot of our waste and our products off-site. Everything's managed on-site. And who wants to create extra landfill? It's the emissions that from waste from restaurants and cafes and things are huge.
That's right. It is a huge component. So in terms of, as a business owner now, you've put new plans into place. You've been able to access grants from the government and use that for developing the business further, in particular focusing on ecotourism. Besides glamping being a new component to the park, what else are you hoping to do in the future?
Wow, I'm sure there'll be lots of things, Angela. Our model is
What's on
changing.
the wish list?
Lots of things. The model is changing quite rapidly. So we'll, as I mentioned previously, we'll be doing our edutourism, our possibly weddings and events in our Billabong Wallabies Cafe and Event Centre. And so we'll be exploring options in conservation of nature habitats and things with the wildlife that we get into the park, and also the community, because that's very important.
So what we've got to look forward to this year is glamping at
Yes.
the park, different types of events, the fact that you guys have made wonderful contributions to ecotourism and the environment, and your whole small business enthusiastic, agile support of it all, which is fundamentally how small businesses run. We throw ourselves right into the new project. And of course, Fiona, I think the most important message here that you and I will share is that it's important here for all of Australia. We're stuck here at home in a good way. Please take your holidays locally. Queensland, glamping, the Bush Oasis Caravan Park should be on everyone's top of the list to visit this year.
Should be too. Thank you, Angela.
I don't know about you, but my bags are already packed and I'm ready to go glamping in Townsville, the Bush Oasis Caravan Park. A great example of a small business keeping ecotourism front of mind and looking after our local and hopefully our international tourists. A big shout out to the Piedmont Studio for making us look and sound good. To the SMEA Association, thank you so much for your support. Without you, SME TV wouldn't be here. If you have any tips, tricks, comments or stories, you can send them straight to me. news@smea.org.au. And of course, we're across all the socials. And if you haven't subscribed, do it now. We'll see you next time. Fiona, I'm sure we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Angela.